Hello, hello, howdy, welcome, hi, come on in. There's so much Doug on screen now. I did have Doug back there, like, closer, but that felt weird. But he still feels a little weird being over there. Hey, Doug, how about you just back up a little bit? Okay, there we go. That feels fine. But yeah, welcome, howdy. We're streaming much earlier today than usual because I am on work vacation from the back rooms. It starts today. So hooray. And honestly, so I was gonna do other things before I streamed. I was gonna stream at like a more normal time. But I was getting, like, decision anxiety. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? I could do this? No, I should do that tomorrow, and I can do this? Oh no, I should do that tomorrow, and I can do... And then I was like, I don't know what to do. So I was like, I'll just stream. Because I knew I wanted to stream, and so at least I could do that one. But yeah, howdy, welcome. We're gonna just chit-chat. Chitting and chatting. Regarding the loser squad comment, what was that about? Yeah, I just like giving nicknames. If y'all, so for those of you who don't know what Ranger is referring to, on the Discord, I was like, guys, I'm gonna start streaming in 20 minutes. And then I was like, I was gonna call you loser squad, but then I didn't want to actually hurt your feelings. So I wanted to be like, I'm streaming in 20 minutes, loser squad. But then I was like, I don't want them to actually think I think they're losers. But I wanted them to know that I wanted to call them loser squad, but not in a hurtful way, you know what I'm saying? So that's what was that about? Was I just like coming up with funny nicknames for people? Just got an excellent Christmas present yesterday. You got a job! How exciting! What's your job? If you want to share, you don't have to go into any specifics. But I'm happy for you. I hope it's one that you're like, ooh, this will be so good, you know? I'm drinking an Arizona tea. Fun fact. So you'll see me take sips more often. Things going on with me. Oh my gosh, let's start with all the saddest things. So, you all know that I'm obsessed with Project Sekai. I talk about it too often. Gotta talk about my Miku game. Always, always. I'd even mentioned, I think like last week, it's a junior system admin position, so I can leave my current retail job at Staples behind. A round of applause for Sir Air Dude. Hooray, hooray. A job that isn't retail. I'm happy for you. Retail is an important job, but it's also a nightmare to do. I hate retail. So I'm happy for you. I want all of you to not have to work in retail. If I could have one wish, if I could wish upon a star, it would be that we didn't have to do retail shit anymore. But yeah, my sad adventures. Project Sekai. Okay, so yesterday, a new event began. There's always an event happening, and that's what brings in the new gachas. And this time, there's one card especially that I really liked. So the way how it works with Project Sekai is there are always 3 new cards of the same characters. It's always outfits that you're pulling for, effectively. I mean, there's one specifically that I really like. The card art is gorgeous, and the outfit is also really cool. Those are the kind of the 2 things that goes into whether or not Twiins wants to pull for a gacha. And so I've been saving up for it, because the JP server is a year ahead of us, so I can plan ahead. And I was like, I want this one a lot. I want it. It's Shizuku, that's the character. And I was like, I want this one so bad. And so I was able to do, I did like 15 pulls, and I got fucking bumpkiss. I got only 2 4 stars. One of those was through pity, because that's how the pity system works. And I was able to do enough gacha pulls to get a pity pull, and it was for the first round of pity. It gives you just any 4-star. You're not guaranteed anything from the new gacha, and so I got a dupe that I already had, and it was like, no, and so then I kept going, and I did finally get another 4-star, and it was one of the new cards, and it's very pretty, I like it a lot, but of the 3, it was the one I'm the least interested in. It's Mafuyu, and for any of you who care. I was like, I want Shizuku, and I'd like Kaito, and Mafuyu's art is also nice, but I'm not gonna be wasting all my gacha points on trying to get her, and she's the one I got, and now I'm out. I don't have any gems, and I cannot do any more gacha pulls, and I am sad. Was the arrow one? Yeah, we're doing the archery club story right now, and I am sad. And to be fair, it is a permanent gacha, which means I can always pull this card at some point in the future. It'll always be available. Versus limited gachas, which you can only get during the time that the event is on. So if I'm smart, I should save all my gacha pulls for limited event gachas. But it's not bad to do permanent gachas though, because you can trade in your points. Like when you do a pull, you get some points, and you can trade in those points for cards, which you can use to just effectively directly buy, quote unquote, with in-game currency, a card that has been a permanent one that's been, previously featured. So it's not the worst thing, but I'm just sad. I'm sad, moreover, not only is it sad that I didn't get the Shizuku card I wanted, but that I got, I was planning. I was prepared. I got prepared for having a sudden intake of 4-stars, because I knew I was going to be doing, at least 10 gacha pulls. And I was expecting to get, more than just one 4-star. Hit Doug. Hot. I mean hot! So yeah, them's the breaks. That was the big thing that's happened to me this week. I find that I have the patience to do retail, I just don't want to do it as a career. That's fair. The thing for me with retail, one, I hate customers. Customers are the problem. I wouldn't mind doing retail work. The problem is I have to interact with rude customers in order to do it. But also, being on the register especially is annoying, because it's monotonous enough that you can't, it's monotonous, but you have to be thinking enough about it that you can't just completely zone out. But it's not engaging enough to be worth your mental capacity, and it feels like it's just wasting your time. So that's my problem with retail. Perhaps losing everything is true freedom. Perhaps. I can only hope that my luck is being funneled into something else right now. It's okay, Twiins luck for gachas? No, we can't waste any luck on that. We gotta funnel it towards something else. Some other important thing. Is 4-star max rarity? Yeah. We don't have 5 stars. It's only, it's 1 through 4, and you don't get 1 stars. Oh my gosh, a first-time chatter. Welcome, James Firefox. I've got midnight to 8 shifts, so I just got 2 hours to deal with them in bakery. Okay. I will say, you're the one thinking of portals, James, because back when I did work in retail, I also worked the night shift. And it wasn't, a graveyard shift, like how you've got, but I only ever wanted to work the closing shift because you get less customers. And I was like, I'll clean the toilets, I'll take out the trash, I'll walk home in the dark. I'd rather do all of that than have to interact with people. So, yeah, that's the way to do it if you have to work in retail, I think. Twiins, where do you think Mafuyu's story is gonna go now that she's basically left home? I can hope that it will start with recovery, that Mafuyu will start to kind of learn how to feel again, and you know, the color will return to her world a little bit, and then eventually I'm sure she will confront her mom. So I'm hoping that this is the turning point, because things have been going sad for Mafuyu for quite a bit now, as her mom became more and more strict. Sorry about the Project Sekai story talk for all of you who don't care, but I care. So yeah, her mom has been getting a lot more strict, and then eventually with the Engeki song event, she goes to live with Kanade. And so I hope that is turning point into shift to recovery. So I hope things will become happy for Mafuyu. That's what I think. Maybe you'll win the lottery or something. That'd be pretty fly. You know, how mad could I be? It's like, I didn't get my Shizuku card. Oh, but I got $1 million. Nothing gets me in the spirit of the holidays than entitled, bitchy, rich people yelling at retail workers. It truly does seem to be the only constant. Another first-time chatter. Welcome, Void Walker. What an amazing title. Thank you. I try my hardest. Welcome. We're talking about Project Sekai. It's the Vocaloid rhythm game, in case you don't know. But I'll also be talking about some other video games in the not too distant future here. I'm sad I didn't get the gacha I wanted. So that's the long and short of it. Holy crap, she's chatting. So true, bestie. One more $1 million to spend on gacha. Yeah, honestly, if I had the money, I would. I like Project Sekai a lot. Twiins, I've unironically listening to Vocaloids now, and I'm certain it's your fault. Hell yeah. I really like Vocaloid music, and I think Project Sekai is a great way to get into it. Because I know that personally, speaking, that sometimes it can be tough to get into Vocaloid because you don't know where to start, and I'm going to put it bluntly, there's a lot of bad Vocaloid music out there. Yeah, if I listen to videos, sometimes I watch videos that's like, a bunch of songs I want in Project Sekai, and it's like 20 for each group. And they always go in order, so it's always like Leonid, Murmur Jump, like in the order that they're in the menu. And I can't ever get past the Viva Bad Squad section just because Miku and friends all start to really sound the same, and she's quite high-pitched, and the tuning on her can be pretty dang hit or miss. Guess you never miss, huh? And so, I think it's tough to know where to start with Vocaloid, and I think Project Sekai makes it easy. One, because there are real human characters singing most of the songs, which I think is easier for people to kind of engage with at first. And two, they are categorized. Oh, do you like hip-hop and rap? Here's a bunch of Viva Bad Squad songs you can listen to. Do you like idols? Here's the Murmur Jump songs you can listen to. So I think it's a great way to get engaged with the Vocaloid community. Poisonally. Speaking of money, if you won the lottery, what would you spend the money on? Probably a house. I would want to purchase a house for Allison specifically. Not for me necessarily. I would also live there. But yeah, it'd be a house, and I'd allow Allison to be like technically the owner because I think she deserves it. The big question would be, where do we want to live though, you know? It's like, do we stay here? Do we move somewhere else? I don't know. Oh, and a trip to Japan. We'd have to take a trip to Japan. Twiins, I just got an ad for the lottery. What the fuck? I'm sorry, I did not mean to. Maybe this is your sign, Ruth. Go spend all your money on the lottery. The last Vocaloid game I played was on the PlayStation 3. Those ones were also good. That was how I originally got into Vocaloid. Because I was like, I don't know what songs to listen to. If you just Google Vocaloid, you get a million things. A lot of them don't sound very good. So it's like, I think the games that you're speaking of, Voidwalker, I think they are good. For like beginner's first Vocaloid game. It's a pretty small amount of songs, so you're not likely to get overwhelmed or anything. But also I think it's just funny. A lot of fans of the games you're talking about, Voidwalker, really don't seem to like Project Sekai just because it's got human characters and because Sega isn't working on the arcade ones like how you've played. And so they're kind of mad and jealous about it. And I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what you're so mad about, because Project Sekai, I hate to break it to you, is the reason why Vocaloid is so alive and well right now. The Diva games that were on the PlayStation 3, people didn't play those. They weren't bringing in new fans, and they weren't all that investing as rhythm games, if I say so myself. But, yeah. Of course I feel bad for them. It always hurts to, like, if I had to sit here and watch a bunch of Conker's Bad Fur Day games get made, and it's like, well, what about Banjo? You know, I'd be right there. So I understand. But, I do wish they would calm down a little bit. Not everything needs to be a fandom war. My Pokemon/Vocaloid news for today is that the new Pokemiku song by Jin is good. It is! I listened to that earlier, and it was really good. I'm discovering I quite like how Jin tunes Miku. What a shame that I feel like Jin often does not work with Miku. The concept of a normal human girl living with a fallen angel whose twin is a witch sounds like a fun slice of life manga. Yeah, it does. It feels like a little plotless. Like, that's a great concept, but you have to have like a, okay, but what do they do? What's the point, you know? Buys Allison a house so she can mooch off her iconic. Listen. It is what it is. That's how our relationship would be. It's how it is. Now, I would buy her all the things, and then I'd go, now Allison, can you make dinner? Please. I remember, around Thanksgiving, I was telling my big boss what my Thanksgiving plans was, which was that Allison was gonna do all the cooking. And big boss was like, I don't know, that sounds like a good way for your roommate to get kind of angry, a little upset about all that, her doing all the work. And I was like, no, you don't understand. That's how it is. I can't cook, and she likes to cook, and she doesn't want me in the kitchen anyway. I listen to very few Vocaloid songs, but it gets tripping. Since I listen to it at 1.25 speed. Why would you do that? I don't understand you, James Firefox. Who listens to any music at 1.25 speed? That just sounds like that's bananas. Some of them are already quite fast as well. What is a Vocaloid game? Most of them are rhythm games. All of them are rhythm games. So there's Project Diva, which were originally on arcades in Japan. They came over to the States in the form of a lot of like PlayStation 3/4, and there's one on the Switch. Just rhythm games with... Originally they had cool new animated music videos to go along with Vocaloid songs that are popular. But near the end of Diva's lifetime, they kind of just started playing the original music videos instead of animating new ones, and I thought that was really disappointing and dumb. And then also all the new ones, in air quotes, that they made were just, like, Miku on stage singing, and it's like, this sucks. I can watch her do that by looking up a freeboot of a concert, you know? Nowadays, the big Vocaloid game is the Project Sekai one I talk about so much, which it's still a rhythm game, but it also features some human characters going through their own plot lines, and the Vocaloids are kind of just there as a way to help the human character kids. So, there you go. They're all rhythm games. They're just ways to listen to songs. The biggest problem is none of the songs ever have just normal names. What do you mean? Oh yeah, I guess that is pretty nightcore-y, isn't it? Listening at 1.25. I mean, I think there's plenty of songs with normal names. So there's like, hang on, well, I need to look them up. Hang on. Let me open up my tablet. There's Hello, How Are You? I know that one. I'm literally opening up my tablet so I can take a gander at the list of of Vocaloid song names. We can find the least normal and most normal ones. Do you think Nightcore is still really popular, or do you think slowed plus reverb has taken it over? I think Nightcore songs have lost their kind of big kind of wave. I still see them every now and then, but yeah, I think slowed reverb has taken over for the most part. Alright, so let's see. Some other normal names are things like Hated by Life, Close to Gray, Into the Night, Cutlery, Venom, Villain, Alien, Goodbye Declaration, 1-2 Fan Club, Fixer, Bloom Into the Mud, Bug, Nomad. Some pretty normal sounding. The not normal sounding ones are the ones that are just in Japanese. Like Auku Kakero, which I pronounced incorrectly. That's dramaturgy's a weird one, I guess. 6 Trillion Years an Overnight Story, that's a complicated name. That's a complicated song, though. The first one was Mirai DX on the 3DS. Fun fact, Sir Airdo, technically so was mine. I played the demo for that. It had Senbon Sakura. And I liked Senbon Sakura so much that I perfected the song on all difficulties in one session of playing that demo. And that was when I decided I want a Vocaloid game. Prage for a Vocaloid fighting game. That would be pretty cool. I think, I've said this before to Allison, as she thinks I'm dumb. Okay, you know the Heroes games, so like Fire Emblem Heroes, or is it Warriors? It's Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors, Hyrule Warriors. Those ones, you know, those games, I think a Vocaloid Warriors could be fascinating. How do they fight? Who fucking cares? Miku could whack people to death with her pigtails for all I care. They could probably be using instruments and singing, but I think it could be fascinating. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Nightcore, I think, has gotten popular again because of TikTok. Perhaps. I'm not on the TikTok scene. I've seen a lot of like party remixes, which seems to be Nightcore's slightly more socially acceptable cousin, you know? Like, for instance, the Spider and Fox Like Lion, mad banger, if you don't look at the lyrics. I mean, I think lyrics are important, personally. But also it is kind of 50-50, isn't it? There's plenty of, like, Japanese songs where I listen to it and I'm like, this rules. And that's it. And then there are others where I'm like, this is awesome. I need to know what the lyrics are, though. And there are sometimes, this is what a loser I am. So often, I am listening to Japanese music with a second window open, and that window I've got the lyrics translated into English, and I'm reading the lyrics along with listening to the song. Because sometimes it's like, this is a banger all on its own, and then there are other times where being able to kind of engage with the story of the song is like such a huge part of it. So yeah, I guess it is 50-50. Sometimes I try to find a song I'm not familiar with. I get like 7 different videos with a bunch of words and brackets. I don't know how to help you. I don't know how. Those might be covers. Those words and brackets, it might be like names of who's worked on it. Nightcore stopped when artists started releasing sped up versions of their own songs. I guess. Fun fact, my favorite Nightcore song, it's Britney Spears. It's a version of Britney Spears's Hit Me Baby One More Time, cause I like Britney's version plenty, but it's just a little too slow. I want it to be a little bit faster. So you know what, James Firefox? I rescind. Who listens to music at 1.25 speed? I guess I do. Yeah, they could probably give her a leak, and that'd be hilarious. They figured out how to make Agatha from Twilight Princess fight. I think they could do it for Miku and Co. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm right, and I think they could be really creative with it. I think Fire Emblem Warriors was boring and dumb, for a lot of reasons, but the big one was that all the weapons felt the same. versus things like Hyrule Warriors, and both of them, because they had the Age of Calamity one and also the one that's just all the Zeldas and Links. And for both of them, they really played with how the different weapons are, and especially with the wacky characters, like, oh man, what does Marin from Link's Awakening fight with? Bell. A giant bell. Okay, why not? Well, Agatha the Bug Princess, obviously she fights with bugs, so I think if they were just creative with it, it could be really cool. Have like a Sekiro rhythm sort of system, but applied to the Warriors games. See? It's just, I think it's a great idea. And Allison thinks I'm dumb. But I think it could be super fly. But also, I kind of just want a Warriors game of all the things I like. Demon Slayer Warriors, I'd buy the fuck out of that. Chainsaw Man Warriors, I'd buy that too. Kaiji Warriors, don't know how that would work, but you know I'd buy it. That's not even the only... Okay, I mentioned how my gacha luck was bad with Shizuku. Rip in peace. But also, so Honkai Star Rail has a couple of husbands that are available. One is Dr. L plus Ratio. It's literally his name. His name is actually Dr. Ratio. I guess he's free, but I have to, like, unlock him, so I was like, cool, then I will work on doing that. But there's another one. There's, like, a red-haired Rose Knight guy. I don't know what his name is. And, but I'm like, he's handsome. I want to pull for him. And I haven't been playing Honkai a whole lot. I probably could have, hoarded up more gacha points, if I had been, but I'm a busy goyle. I can't just play gacha games all the time. But I didn't get him either. I got a girl. I got a lady. And she was neat, I guess. She's got like a pen. It's like she does like either calligraphy or art. And she seems dead inside. So, I mean, she's neato. But I didn't get the guy again. So, for real, my gacha luck is in the pits right now. So, yeah, like I said, I can only hope that means it's being funneled towards something more important. You said warrior game, but my mind is stuck on a 2D Street Fighter, like, with rhythm-based combat. I think that could be really interesting, too. I've thought for a while now that a rhythm game where you're fighting and not just, you know, effectively playing the little piano kind of thing, while a music video plays in the background, but rather your rhythming is how you do combat. I've thought that could be really cool if done correctly. The important part is, with a traditional rhythm game, you're only focusing on the notes, let's be honest. So, how do you balance that? How do you make it so that you can focus on notes and also the fight? Or do you just focus on the fight? How do you make it not feel repetitive? I think it can be done, but that's for someone smarter than me to figure out. I like Fire Emblem Warriors' refinements to the tactical parts, i.e. assigning to not controlled characters, but they clearly didn't put much effort into making each character unique. Exactly. I do think the one they had, Three Hopes, Fire Emblem Three Hopes, I think that one was a lot better than just like Fire Emblem Warriors with which was also basically all of the cast of Fire Emblem Awakening running around, and also here's like Navarre from one other game. Yeah, I think the first one was fucking dull and boring. Have you ever seen or heard of NSR? No, I have not. I think Hi-Fi Rush kind of did that, but it's single player. I don't know. I've never played Hi-Fi Rush. I don't think I've really ever... I've definitely heard of it before, but I've not engaged with it. Let me Google it really quick. Let me see if I recommend what it looks like. Oh, I remember a commercial for this. And thinking, eh. I once played a fighting game where the music played a part in it. There was its standard fighting mechanics, but you could also influence the music to assist you. For example, if you punch a guy into something that explodes, you could reverse the music so the guy experiences the explosion again for extra damage. That's fascinating. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Def Jam? Okay. Fascinating. So it sounds like it's a lot of kind of, I'm going to describe it as sort of smaller dev beat 'em up-esque games that seem to be playing with this idea the most. So that's fun, because honestly, I don't think a AAA game could make something like that. I am steadily losing faith in AAA games. Like, I'll ride together, die together with Nintendo till the cows come home, but other things that are AAA coming out lately, I'm just not that interested. It feels like the rest of the world is really thinking about how to approach gaming in a more interesting way, with more relevant plots and well-done characters versus AAA games where it's like, it's Spider-Man again, and you swing on the webs. That was fun once, yeah? Hit A to do a cutscene. Or do you want to play God of War? You want to play Dad of Boy? Hit A, and then you hit A, and then you move the analog stick forward, and you hit A again. And every time you hit A, the game plays a cutscene where Kratos kills a thing for you. Hit A 5 times, and then he does the cutscene where, and it just feels like that's what everything is these days. And obviously that's hyperbolic. And obviously I'm not like number one opinion on game anything. But I feel like I do feel like I'm seeing a lot of stagnant monotony with an over-reliance on voice actors that are good. They're downright great. But it's like, look at how good these voice actors are. Don't you love these voice actors? And this cutscene is so good. Look at this cutscene. We really want to animate this cutscene. We animated the cutscene. It's so pretty. And it's like, what about the second half of the game, of the title of what this thing is? It's called a video game, yeah? What? The first one was Awakening, Fates, and Shadow Dragon characters. Yes, it was. It was mostly the Awakening crew, and it's like, I've seen them already. I was so bored by that point. The problem is that there is too much money pulled into it. There is a lot of money pulled in. I think it could be fine. Like, it's not, like obviously, and I think Nintendo is a good example. Nintendo is exploring how to approach their games differently. Mario Odyssey came out, and it was like, hey, we did Mario different. It's the same, it's another 3D Mario finally. But we played around with how to make the gameplay more engaging, more exciting, more fun. And then Mario Wonder came out. We're back to the 2D world, but we thought about how to approach Mario again. And that's interesting. Zelda, like, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom completely shake up the formula. It completely reinvents the Zelda timeline, literally. And I think Nintendo just seems to be the only one that wants to actually consider these things in a world where I watched Bethesda release Skyrim in space, complete with being just exactly the same as every other Bethesda game that's come out since Skyrim, But again, I'm no end-all be-all opinion on gaming. I do think Baldur's Gate looks good. This is the only time I've ever given a single iota of a fuck about the Baldur's Gate series. So obviously, there is quality in the AAA gaming community. But I'm just, personally, I'm looking at things like Lethal Company, Deltarune, and Undertale and going, those are the things I want to purchase and engage with stories that, like, impact me. Not Lethal Company, but with impactful stories that really leave a resonating feeling in my heart, versus AAA games where it's like, I guess that was the plot, Amori is a core part of my life now, and that was just an indie game, versus, man, what was the last AAA game I even played? I couldn't even tell you anymore. But Amori mattered. Certainly mattered more than Red Dead Redemption did when I played that a million years ago. It was mostly Awakening Fates because they were really pushing those two Fire Emblem games, especially in the Heroes at the time. It's true, it was still fucking boring. I know why they were doing it. I think it was bad. I think if they made a Fire Emblem Fates Warriors, a Fire Emblem Warriors game now, I think they would pull from a lot more things. Either that or we just get all the engaged characters again. So it's like, oh yeah, we got Sigurd and Micaiah, Celica, you know, like just them again. But I think engage shows us that to at least some degree that they're not just willing to hang on to Awakening for forever. So thank goodness. NSR, or No Straight Roads, is also a music-based fighting game where you'd fight EDM bosses in order to bring rock back to the top. Fascinating. I like EDM plenty, though. I've only played it on Switch, but wish I had done it on a different console or PC. Really great game, would recommend. Well, I'll have to give it a looky-loo at some point. Because I do like me some tasty music and games. I can at least look up the soundtrack. Even modders don't seem too much interested in Starfield. Exactly! That's what I'm seeing too. And I feel bad. I feel bad for Bethesda fans. It's like, oh man, we finally get a new game. And then it's this? And I feel like we're getting that a lot with AAA games. Oh boy, we're finally getting a new game and it's this? And of course we could look at Pokemon as an example. Personally, I don't find anything wrong with Pokemon's visuals, and I think people tend to get too hung up on them. I'm not saying it's flawless, not by any means. But people will be like, Pokemon looks ugly, and I think that is a bad faith take. Scarlet and Violet especially, I wouldn't say it looks ugly. I think it looks really nice. It's clearly stylized for a reason. It runs poorly. Pokemon does not look ugly. It plays poorly. And that's the big difference. And that is disappointing. However, looking at where they did clearly put in time and effort and money into the game, it's got the best story and characters the series has ever gotten. And obviously, Game Freak seems to care about Pokemon, considering the whole Project Voltage thing. They're always making these really gorgeously animated things. There's like 400 different ways for fans to engage with Pokemon. It's not just a cash grab, obviously. So we could look to, you could use Pokemon as an example of that. But for me, I'm thinking of things like Red Dead, or all this fucking, it feels like we have a constant new intake of superhero games, that all play exactly like Arkham Knights. Fucking Overwatch literally just being, Overwatch 2 just being Overwatch 1 again, but with what seems to be worse systems in terms of like how to get outfits, but I don't know. I've never played shooters, so I can't say too much about that. But it's just, it feels like if they're gonna start charging $70 for video games, just having really high fidelity graphics isn't going to cut it, I think. People aren't going to be willing to spend $70 just because it's the same game again with the same tired gameplay, but it looks really pretty. You know? At least I would hope so. That being said, GTA 6 looks stunning, I must say. I'd like to see some gameplay. And people seem to be enjoying the fucking, I don't know what this is, GTA RP thing? I don't know. I've just seen 400 thumbnails for it, and I haven't clicked on one of them. But people seem to be really enjoying that, so that's good. It's nice that it seems like Rockstar has learned a little something since they made GT Horse. We spent too much money figuring out how to make the horses' penises do things in the snow. And it's like, why'd you guys do that? This is unnecessary. It's just a weird thing to brag about, too. Last one you played was probably Nintendo, yeah. AAA game? I'm thinking. I do play a lot of Nintendo games. So, it was probably that. I'm trying to think. I must own something on the PlayStation. I've got the whole ass PlayStation 4. And what was the last thing I played on it? I don't know. I know I played on stream. It was Cult of the Lamb. Which was a great game. I liked Cult of the Lamb a lot. That was really fun. Ico? That's not what it's called. Shadow of the Colossus? That's a good one. Is that AAA? I think that's a whole nother thing, though. Is what counts as a AAA game? I feel like that line is getting blurrier and harder to distinguish. There was a whole talking point with the Game Awards this year, wasn't it? I think Dave the Diver won Indie Game of the Year, and I believe people are arguing that it's not even an indie game. But I don't know. I don't know anymore. To me, an indie game is, Toby Fox making Undertale all by himself. But Deltarune, now that he actually has a team, I mean, it's still indie. It's still independent, I suppose. But yeah, it's a blurry line to try to find a side for. I guess it's easy to go, oh, is it made by Nintendo? Sega? Okay, yeah, that's a AAA one, one of the big boy names. But then you look at something like Fashion Dreamer. It's published by Xseed. Hello! We're talking about video games. We're talking about kind of my disappointment in the AAA realm, but also kind of trying to find where the line between AAA and indie is. I was gonna say that, Xseed published Fashion Dreamer, and it's not AAA, but it's not indie, so I guess we gotta come up with a term for just small developers. AA, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd just like to be excited for a big release again. One that isn't just Zelda and Pokemon. It'd be cool if we got, yeah, okay, you know what? That is something that could get me, Dragon Age. I like the Dragon Age series. Dragon Quest too, honestly. I should play Dragon Quest 11. I haven't. But, Dragon Age, like Inquisition and Origins and all that, I like that series a lot. And I think it'd be cool for a new game for that to get made, finally. So that could be the big AAA game I play on the PlayStation. But knowing my luck, it would just be on the 5. Because that seems to be the way it's going. Everything is only on the 5. And it's like, come on, I don't want to buy a 5. It doesn't feel necessary. It looks a little bit prettier. And, like, listen, buddy, if I fight this hard for Pokemon, clearly visuals doesn't matter that much to me. I like to give the developers themselves the benefit of the doubt, but obviously the industry is, it's true. The industry is, it's a rough industry, and I hope they get that figured out. Hellblade, Senna's Sacrifice was also kind of indie game. I didn't know about that one. I can't remember what I voted for indie, because I did vote for the, Game Awards. Almost never do, but I really wanted Tears of the Kingdom to win. I can't remember what I voted for. I think if Lethal Company had come out earlier in the year, it would have been on the list, and I think it should have won. I can only hope Lethal Company makes it onto the list next year, because I think it stands a fighting chance. That is, unless if Toby Fox finally releases more Deltarune chapters, in which case all the indie games should just give up for the year. Be like, we'll just polish ours. Let me guess, Fenris is your favorite companion in Dragon Age 2? Fenris was originally the husband I had chosen. However, I failed that playthrough, because I never gave myself better gear, because I'm bad at video games. So he's alright. I didn't like how racist he was against mages, though you can change him. Anders ended up being my favorite, which is also problematic, but it is what it is. The latest Dragon Quest Monsters also came out recently. Oh, I think you're right, I think it did. And we played Monsters Joker on the, I think that was just the DS. We both played that a lot, Critter and I. We had to take turns, because we only had the one cartridge. But, we had a friend because we're stinky cheaters. We had a friend who also had the game, and so she just like traded over some omega high level monsters to us. So combat was a fucking joke. It was just walking forward and we were just smearing the floor with all the enemies, because we had like end game level, basically being able to trade over your level 100 team in Pokemon over to somebody else. That's what we did, and it was hilarious. But I'm better at video games now, so I think playing Dragon Quest Monsters could be a lot of fun. I like those games a lot. Yeah, Def will be 5 only. Yeah. Speaking of Lethal Company, hang on, I need to take a sip. Arizona tea sip. Speaking of Lethal Company, it looks fun. I've seen a couple people playing it, and it looks fun, it looks funny. I'm gonna describe it as if Phasmophobia actually made fucking sense. That was the thing. I saw everyone on planet Earth playing Phasmophobia, and it seemed pretty fun as well. But the problem is, so often, it was like they didn't explain how to handle anything, it seemed like. Like what you were actually supposed to do if you find a ghost. And Lethal Company does not seem to suffer from that. Or at least, you know, it was easy to intuit what had to be done with certain enemies from the handful of videos I saw. So even if the game doesn't explicitly tell you, it's not hard to grasp by watching, you know, just, you know, Ray Narvaez play a little bit of it and be like, oh, I understand. Yeah, Lethal Company seems fun. Unfortunately, I have no one to play it with. And it's like, if you don't have friends, then it's like you can't play. Like, that's the whole point, is that it's funny to play with your friends. I bet Critter could play. And Allison needs a better PC if she were to play. So, that's all I got in the Lethal Company sphere. So I can't play that one, so it makes me a little bit sad. I didn't enjoy playing it, but I'm happy it's doing well. That's good. That, you know, I can respect that opinion. Maybe Darkest Dungeon 1 or 2 would interest you? Darkest Dungeon, that's the one, you name the characters, yeah? I've seen videos about that. They seem hard. But also, I think I watched Indie Mouse, and he always plays on the hardest level. So, like hardest difficulty, it seems like. So maybe I was just watching the wrong people. Darkest Dungeon always seemed pretty neato. I like being able to name, you know, characters after either my own characters or people I know. That's always really fun and interesting. I wish it'd be even more cool if you could customize the characters even just a little bit. So then it could really be more like, it's like, oh, cool, I'm gonna name this one after Critter, and then I colored them green like her. You know, that could be neat. But yeah, I don't know about Darkest Dungeon. It seems a little hard, and I don't know what the plot is. I worry it'd be the kind of game where I play it for a weekend and then I don't pick it up again, you know? I haven't tried Frostpunk. Let me Google that. Darkest Dungeon is hard. It is fun, though. I think a lot of is it a roguelite? A lot of roguelites are just too hard, if I do say so myself. One of my managers, what am I looking up? Frostpunk. One of my managers, he likes to play roguelites, and I'm like, more power to you. Oh, this looks like a nightmare. Okay, so I googled Frostpunk. Jesus Christ. What is this? If I see, I'm gonna copy and paste an image. Okay. So we all can look at it. Oh, damn. I would have to open Studio Paint. Alright, then we can't look at it. I guess I could save it. If I see a game that looks like this, I'm like, I'm not doing that. That looks like not a game for me. Okay, hang on. Hang on. Let me load up this game so you guys can all see what a nightmare it looks like. Image. Yep. There it is. Okay, yeah, I see this shit, and I'm like, no. No, I don't want to play this game. Look at all that. I'm not interested. Too complicated. Don't put all that. You know what? I'm a simple girl with simple wants. And you know what I want? I want to be a hero with a sword in a field. And then I can play. That's what it is! The last AAA game I played was, Tales of Arise. I remember thinking, because Tales of Arise's intro, it's very edge, and you start off in, like, shit pit. And everything's on fire in the shit pit. and your first combat is with the guards who are trying to subjugate you in the shit pit for your torture. And it's like, I'm tired of this. I remember thinking that it's like, why can't we just go back? Everyone wants to be all subversive with how they start a game. I'm sick of games starting off with, oh my gosh, there's our ship has been attacked. The castle is under siege. Your intro tutorial fight is against terrorists. Press A to, and it's like, can we please just start a game where I am in a small, cute town and I walk into a grassy field and I fight like a sheep as my intro. Please, I'm so tired of the shit pit being my intro stage. I did not finish Tales of Arise, and that hurts. I really liked the voice cast, but I hated the characters. I so often felt like that they were insufferable. They were arguing constantly, but it felt like they were never becoming better friends. And I don't know, they felt so just weird. I couldn't get behind them. You know, half the characters are like, no, my life is tragic because reason, and it's like, yeah, but you chose that, and it's I just couldn't get into the story of Tales of Arise. It also really didn't help that I was playing that in the living room on our old couch, and something about sitting on that couch, it didn't matter how I sat on it, my back would fucking hurt so bad playing games and sitting on that couch. I remember I was trying to fucking play Tales of Arise. The thing I remember the most vividly about it is me fantasizing about, like, ripping my back open and pulling out my spine and, like, pouring warm water into the cavity where my spine goes to try and fix the pain. You ever do that? You ever fantasize about something ludicrous? Because it's like, man, I got a headache. I wish I could drill a hole through my temple and watch all the blood pour out because it'd feel better. You know, you ever do that? You guys do that. You're normal. That's the thing I remember the most vividly about Tales of Arise. So maybe if I tried again in a chair that wasn't actively trying to kill me, I'd like it better. But I just really struggled to care about those characters. Kind of want to see you play Frostpunk just to see what kind of dictator you would turn out to be. I think I'd rather play Civ. I think you can be a dictator in, like, Civ 5 or whatever. So, but also I'm sure Frostpunk doesn't start out as hard as that screenshot made it look. Well, you could also keep the city small and let people freeze to death while sending kids to the coal mine. I feel those kinds of games are so. That's the biggest thing. I'm gonna describe it as resource management games. They make me want to do homework. It's like, I'd rather be doing calculus than this. Like, I don't want to have to manage resources. I don't want to have to choose shit like that. Just give me a sword. Just let me jump on things. Had to stream it to get through Arise. It's rough, because I like the Tales of series so much, and it feels like it's been a while since we had one. Arise, like, the last one we got was, the one with I think her name was Velvet, wasn't? Velvet Edgelord. It just feels like it's been a while. And then they finally make a new one, and it was like... and I got to, like, a big halfway point thing. Like, the opening cutscene changed, which implies that it's like, cool, we're a decent way through the game. But I was just like, I just don't care. Maybe I could care again if I try again. But... it certainly didn't grip me nearly as much as Xillia did. Xillia is my favorite of the series. Or Legendia, which isn't even very good, but it was the first one I played, so it holds a special little place in my heart. Even if its gameplay is bad. It's so bad, the gameplay is really bad. But I liked the characters so much. So yeah, it's rough. Feels bad about the Tales of series. First thing I hear when joining stream, drill a hole, huh? Yeah. Welcome, Coral. I was talking about back pain. But we were kind of discussing the Tales of series and how unhappy I was with Tales of Arise. Berseria is what it was called. Thank you. Sword resource management. Yeah. Ever played Fable? No, I haven't. I haven't played a lot. You got to where the OP changed in Arise? Yes, I did. I can't remember what happened before that. I can't remember what happened after that. I remember so little. That's the thing. I could probably have a great time relearning everything with a second try. I looked up screenshots of Fable. I mean, it is, classic adventurer fare. What was it on? Was it just on PC? But no, I haven't ever played Fable. I haven't seen basically anything from Fable either. I hear that it's great. People who like it seem to really like it. I have played... well, I watched my sister play Persona 5. Most of it. We didn't get all the way through. And I'm conflicted about 5, because I really liked the aesthetic. The visual of the opening with the black and white and then one really strong color. It's red in the opening, but you can change that for any color you want. Obviously has played a humongous impact in my art. I've taken so much inspiration from the visuals of Persona 5. And the gameplay seemed swell, and the story was really solid, and the characters were likable. But I was quite annoyed at how often the game sexualized on. With her story, that made sense. Like, that was her whole plot, was that she was, being sexualized by a teacher. And that's not good, and we all recognize that. But then the game, every time there's, like, an animated cutscene, the whole point is to oogle on. It'll be like, here's a funny little cutscene where the kids run down a pyramid, whoa, but we have to make sure, Ryuji, like, cause Ann's like, oh boy, it's so hot, and there's other girls too. All the characters like, it's so hot, cause we're in a desert, and we have to take a second for Ryuji to look down Ann's shirt at her titties, ho-hee-ho-hee-ho. Oh man, it's the beach episode. Gotta make sure we pan up Ann's legs, and wow, she's a girl with a butt, and I was so annoyed. I'm like, the whole point of her plot was that she was getting sexualized. Stop doing it to her. So annoying. So, if I were to play a Persona game, I think I'd want to play 3. 3 seems cool. But, personally, I mean, I've engaged with it, but I wasn't the one literally holding the controller. I don't know what SMT is. Super Mario Turtles. Playing Symphonia and Vesperia, those are great, and it's weird that they won't release any of the other old games like Abyss. It is weird. Abyss seems to be the most popular one. Also featuring an opening theme song by Bump of Chicken, so obviously it's great. But yeah, it is weird that they never, like, interact with Tales of the Abyss. It's one that I definitely like to play, because everyone seems to really like it, so I bet it's great. I've never played a Tales of game, but I popped here to wish you well and earn the rest of your vacation week. Hey, thank you! I do like the Tales of series quite a lot. If you like JRPGs, they always play around with combat So like no two games play the same, which is a lot of fun. So if you like JRPGs, but you don't just want to sit there and hit attack that enemy, you do an attack on that enemy and over and over, then they're solid games to try out. That happens about 75% of the way through the game, so you got pretty close to the end of Arise. I feel like that happens so often, especially with JRPGs. The same thing happened, honestly, with Persona 5. We only had, like, 2 friends left to obtain. Because that's how, you get new friends as you go throughout the adventure. And we only had 2 left, but, shit happened. We got busy. And if you put down a game like Persona, it's so hard to pick it back up. Yeah, Persona usually has weird stuff like that. Honestly, it's an Atlus problem. It's not just Persona, it's everything Atlus makes. Seems to be a little bit trapped in the past on how to portray their female characters. It's something I hope they get better at. Yeah, I've heard about the 3 remake, and I've heard that fans are saying that it does not look good, and that you should not play it. I'll have to do more research on it, though. 3 is fun. SMT is the game Persona spun off of. Shin Megami Tensei! See, there you go. I recognize the name Shin Megami Tensei. Didn't recognize the acronym. I haven't played any of Shin Megami Tensei. I've perceived it. Briefly. But, yeah, I don't know jack shit about Shin Megami Tensei. I just want a Tales of Fantasia remake or remaster. Which one's that one? What was it, Persona 5 or 5 Royal? It was 5. 5 Royal seems dumb and completely unnecessary, if you ask me. I'm sure the new girl seems swell, but I think you all should be able to grasp that putting a sexy new girl on the team isn't a draw for me. Number 1 straightest gal on the internet. If it had been a boy, I'd be like, well, see, now we're talking. I googled Tales of Fantasia. Oh boy, this is like the first one. This is old school shit. Oh damn, look at those character designs. Wow, yeah. Oh fucking wow! I love this old school anime art. I'm gonna save this so we can look at this together. I love artwork like this. Let's throw this on screen. There we go. Boink! Look at this. Hot damn! I love art like this. It's so like. Fuck. It's just got a flavor to it that I really love. And the character designs, just what's our girl look like? Pink hair, pink shirt, pink belt, pink pants. And it's just great. I love artwork like this. I love it, I love it. Bonus fact, I know the Tales of series best by their OPs. I have many a time watched / listened to a video that was just like all the openings up until I think it was up to Berseria. So that's what I know the characters best from. If you say Tales of and then any of the titles, I think I have to know what the opening looks like to recognize. It's like, oh, the one with that guy in it. There's also a hot therapist. Okay, but is it a girl? Is it like the doctor? Let me Google them. Well, I'm in Royal. In Royal, a boy joins the party again, but he is more problematic. Is it the problematic boy? The one that is spoiler from the first game? And we won't elaborate on that anymore, just in case. Therapist. Oh! This therapist, you know what? I do like that therapist boy. That's a cute boy right there. I like him. He looks a little default, a little boring. But not ugly, by any means. So is that the boy who joins the party? Is it the therapist? I don't think so. I didn't see any versions of him where he's clearly in, you know, battle gear. You do get to spend more time with one male character on the team in 5 Royal. It just doesn't feel like enough to justify a second version of the game. It's like all this, I hear all that and I'm like, why wasn't that just in the original? You know? And as someone who has happily played an Emerald version, yeah, I bought Ultra Sun and Moon after playing through normal Sun and Moon. You know, Pokemon had been doing that shit for 5 games before we all got tired of it. And I look at Persona 5 Royal and I'm like, what's the point? Yeah, Pink Girl is Archie. She's the best. She looks very cute. But yeah, I love all that old anime style. It's so good. It also adds a new semester, and new endings, and new songs, and new combat mechanics. So it adds a lot. Again, I'm just like, then why wasn't this shit in the base game? It took them fucking damn near a decade, you know, since the teaser image to actually make the damn game. What were they spending all that time on? And they made Royal fast after that. It's like, if you had all this extra shit, all this cool extra shit, why didn't you just put it in the base game, huh? Just so you can cheat people out of buying it twice? Don't just spend $60 on us, spend $120 on us, you know? Meh. Meh. That's what I say. But also, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Atlas, because of all the aforementioned kind of sex stuff anyway. They do like making their dancing games, and I don't know if those are any good. I've seen a little bit of them. And they look like fine rhythm games with just fine animation. I'm sure I'd enjoy them plenty. The problem is, so the music is pretty solid for the Persona series. But it's like BGM, you know? It's like, I wanna, if I'm gonna play a rhythm game, I wanna play a song with lyrics. You know? Also in Royal, as great as the new female character, but she is criminally underused. I'm not surprised, because she's an extra. She wasn't originally, by the sounds of it, she wasn't originally planned to be there. So they can't really have her be that impactful, because they're just stapling on, oh, and also she's there too. They ever make remixes for the dancing game? That does make sense. Some of the BGM, it'd be like, we can't do a rhythm game to this. It got dark. I mean, it was snowing earlier, so I guess that makes sense. Oh yeah, they added a whole extra semester so she can do something, because she was an extra stapled on, and they had to be like, and here is the time where she is, you know, the focus, because otherwise she doesn't do anything. She's just in the background. I feel like there was another thought thread that I had held on to, like a little bit, by the tips of my fingers, and then I let go. And then you all just started rattling off everything that Royal adds, and I'm like, I'm not interested in playing Persona Royal, guys. Only Persona game I played was the spin-off game Persona Q, because you could wed a character from 3 and 4. I picked Kanji. Hell yeah. I've seen nothing. Pain Tales of? I don't think so. I think I've kind of waxed all the poetics I've got about Tales of. Mostly that is just like, the openings are cool. I wish Arise was better. I feel like, was there a different thought? Oh, I mentioned this last time I was streaming, I think. Was it last time? But I'll say it again anyway, because I can't. You can't stop me from repeating myself. I'll repeat myself forever and always, and you all should get used to that, because this is not the first time. That how bad I wish that we got a better new farm life sim game. I talked about this pretty extensively, I think, actually. Was it Ocarina of Time that I was playing? I was feeling unwell that day. So incredibly possible. But, yeah, I am ready for a good new Rune Factory or Story of Seasons with just some real tasty husbando shit. That's the thing. I want my fucking heart to go doki doki. I want to play a farm game that's basically just a dating sim, but with cows. Still need to play Rune Factory 5. 5 is hard to recommend. Holy shit. It loads like ass. Okay, and this is coming from me. Number 1, Scarlet and Violet Defender, and I'm like, okay, yeah, sometimes there's pop-in, and sometimes the frame rate chugs, but I still love Scarlet and Violet. It's still a good game, I swear! Okay, and I still think Rune Factory 5 is fun enough, gameplay-wise, as a Rune Factory game. You know, it gets full marks for that. The character designs are really solid, and the town is engaging. The story was neat enough, but it loads like ass. The loading screens are chunky, and then every time you load into a new area, you gotta wait like 30 seconds for everything to pop in. Like, it's not a visually... Like, if you're disappointed with how Pokemon looks, you're gonna be very disappointed with Rune Factory 5. So that is my big kind of standout thing to say about Rune Factory. It's just been so long since I've played a game like Rune Factory or Story of Seasons that I actually got married in. I'm disappointed in that. I could just play them some more, you know, but I just fell off of them, and it's like, I want to keep playing long enough to get married. But as it is, it's like, oh cool, we get another cutscene, and how does my husband engage with me, husband-to-be engage with me in this one? And he just talks about, like, more rocks, because I chose the swordsmith guy, like the blacksmith. And he's like, I like rocks. And it's like, yeah, I know! But fuck, man, I want that real bad. Real dang bad. I have not played Stardew Valley. A lot of people do assume that, but no, I haven't. And the big reason is because the husbands suck. I'm sure their writing is interesting and engaging, but looking at them, you look at the bachelorettes, and they're all different and interesting and cute in their own right, and you look at the bachelors, and they look fine. And what are they? It's man. That one's a blonde man. That one's a man with a big mustache, and it's like, they're just, it's, and if that's all I really want, is a good husband, then, you know, Stardew just doesn't do anything for me. I'd love for that guy to make, it's Concerned Ape, yeah? I'd love for him to make another game where he gets, like, a character designer to come design the characters. That'd be swell, but no, I haven't played that one. Which is probably for the best, because by all accounts, it sounds like everyone who has played it, like, it's the gold standard of, yeah, it's the gold standard of farm life sim games, and so every other game you play, you compare it to that, and it's like, but it's not as good. It's not as good as Stardew. It's not as good, and it's hard to have that, you know? It's hard. It's hard to have a game where nothing else you play matches it. So it's probably for the best. Oh, this is fun. We're gonna shift very suddenly away from video games into real life. What? Dun-dun-dun. But this will be so exciting. Wait, hang on, Messiah's got something to say. Coming back to stream, and all I hear is the husbands suck. Yeah, this is the right place. We're talking about Stardew Valley. I personally think Stardew is only really good with the farm mechanics, but that's just me. People seem to really like the fishing and the kind of cave mining system, but I could see how, if that's not what you're here for, how it could be, not all that engaging. I'm guessing we're not getting a Doom 2016 stream. The only reason I would... Hang on. Doom 2016. The only reason why I would... Oh yeah, this one. Play Doom is so I could, as always, just remind you all that Doom Guy is canonically a devout Catholic and a virgin. That is canon. That is all canon. That is my favorite fact, and I don't need to do a whole stream to tell you guys that, now do I? What a fun fact. It's just so good. But yeah, in the realm of the real world, it's gonna be so exciting. The Backrooms is having a company party. Oh my gosh, I haven't gone to a brouhaha in fucking forever. Not since, I think it was the last time I went to a wedding. And I can't remember when that was, but it was forever ago. It wasn't my wedding, obviously. But I think that was the last time I went to a shindig, and so that's ding-a-dang exciting. I'm always excited for a good excuse to look cute. Hopefully it's got good food. Word on the street is it's gonna be catered by a restaurant. I thought it was gonna be a potluck, and I gotta say, good, because I think potlucks are boring. I think potlucks are a good way to get 4 different stews, you know? And Doom Guy's best friends with Isabel. Yes, yeah, he's best friends with Isabel from Animal Crossing, and has a pet rabbit named Daisy, apparently, and I'm just willing to accept any fun fact people tell me about Doom Guy. It's all canon in my eyes. Hope you have a good time. I do too. I do. I'm gonna wear a dress, and I expect to look too gussied up. But I wanted to look pretty, so no one can stop me. The big thing is, here's the thing. So I guess I'm an ambivert, where I am both introvert and extrovert, which makes the question, are you introverted or extroverted, very hard. And the answer is quite uninteresting, because, you know, that's boring. That's boring as an answer. And so I'm like, cool. We're gonna go to a party. It'll be a party, and it's happening at the back room. So it's not like we're going to someone's house or to a restaurant. And I'm like, what do we do? What should I expect? What do you do at a party? What do you do at parties? Do you just talk to people? I like talking to people. What if there are things to do? I don't know if I want to do things, but I don't want to look like a weirdo sitting in the corner. Sitting in the corner next to one of the monsters who's also a weirdo. So that's my big thing. It's like, dude, just go show up and eat? When do I leave? Will they dismiss us? Or will it just be like, hi guys, I'm here. Alright, that was tasty food, goodbye. Would that make me look standoffish and dumb? Yes, I'm overthinking it all. But I just don't have a whole lot of experience with parties. The ones we go to is usually drink, eat, more drinking, and dancing to music like we are at a club. I don't think there'll be drinking because it is a workplace event. I can bring Doug as my +1. He'd love it, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you really enjoy all that? Which Doug is going to say yes, though? That's the question. Would you like to go to the party? Hell yeah. That was a nod. He nodded. The older I get, the more introverted I become. Dude, I feel that. But also as kids, kids are just inhabilitated, aren't they? Inhibition. There's no they just go. They're just excited. Kids, and I think that's a problem. I've got a fucking opinion about this. So, people are often shamed for being enthusiastic about things. You know, you see videos of people watching, like, it's a reveal for a Star Trek trailer. And people upload their reaction and they're so excited, they're so happy, they're jumping up and down and clapping, they're crying, they're falling out of their chair, stuff like that. And you get fucking chuds making fun of them. Being like, look at this loser over a TV show. completely losing their mind like a child. That's the thing. It is infantilizing to be interested in things. Apathy is the only valid feeling as an adult for what seems to be the wider audience. And so obviously you're more introverted as an adult because sharing your interests is seen as childish. It's looked down on. It is discouraged. And so, if you go out there ready to be like, hey guys, I really like, watching streamers or streaming. I think it's really fun and cool, and I'm excited to talk about that. It's not a mainstream thing, and so if people don't get it, they'll go, oh, I don't get that. And then you will be disregarded from the conversation, or your topic will be disregarded to instead talk about whatever is popular in the general zeitgeist. Streaming? I don't know what that is. That sounds dumb. Anyway, did you see the latest sport ball game? Did you watch the newest TV show? And you can't be like, oh my gosh, yes. Okay, the scene, like if you're too excited, you're a weirdo. You're being weird. And yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's just a cartoon or it's just a show, like, but if you're like, yeah, it was really cool. Like, that is what is expected, is a placid level of engagement. And I think that is why there is so much weirdly serious internet discourse, even about inconsequential things, because it's the only place where people feel like they can express these opinions, and so often rebound back to the other extreme, where they feel like they must go to war over small things because they can't engage at all in public. And two, it's just dumb, because we should encourage people to talk about their interests, because that is how I befriended one of my managers, is that I opened up about streaming, and he was like, I know what that is. I also know Pokemon. And that it gave us a connection. We are not connected as people because we can't express ourselves. So thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry. I got heated, but I care about this, clearly. I think this is a pressing matter, and it needs to be discussed. Oh, whoa, sitting in the corner with one of the weird monsters. That's the really cool party. You're right. We just look aloof and cool. Being like, yeah, I'm here for the party, but not engaging, and it's like, oh, fuck. Those are the cool kids. There's a difference between being introverted / extroverted / being outgoing and shy. It's true, but often people kind of conflate the two. And I think people tend to how do I say, kind of are more willing to display those more introverted tendencies and accept those introverted tendencies due to not being allowed to be outgoing. So that's what I think. But you're not wrong. But Twiins, how am I supposed to get good Reddit karma if I don't ooze smug apathism? How can you misspell half your words, but then you get apatheticism? You're banned. It's too hard of a word. I can't read that one. Don't you mean your Twiins talk? Ay. I just get all jittery when talking about things I like. Making me look like a chihuahua on caffeine. You know, I get kind of similar. I run out of breath. If I'm excited about something. Like I won't breathe enough, and like, I feel like I have to breathe in too often, and it makes me look like I'm a freak. Because similar to you, imagine, someone being like, talk about something and and yeah, they have to keep like breathing in, and like their eyes are getting watery because they're trying to just talk without breathing. So I do get it. How do you say what, one taker? Definitely breath. Hard. It's important for long life. You know what? Breathing is hard, but it is a little bit imperative. Just slightly necessary. But yeah, I think those are all the topics. You guys can delay stream ending as long as you can keep me engaged. That's the trick that YouTubers ought to use. Did you all see my video? I uploaded a video about Fashion Dreamer. It's fun enough. It's just a review because I found myself like the day before Fashion Dreamer came out. I was like, oh yeah, that game exists. And I thought about getting it, and I was like, okay, but what do you do? And then I decided to just get it anyway. Chat, go, be interesting. But I decided, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I ought to be the hero that I needed and say what actually you do in the game and how it's very little. Big plan for New Year's / resolutions. My plan for New Year's is relax. And I don't have any resolutions this year. I almost never do, honestly. I very rarely have New Year's resolutions. I guess I resolved to work more frequently on comics, but it's not like I slack off on comics. And it's good to take breaks, because especially the way I work, with art, there's a reason why I don't do art streams with my model and why I'm a PNG. Because I sit like this. This is what you guys would see the whole time. It's me looking down. And that is quite hard on my back and neck. So, obviously I can't work tirelessly. But I would like to be a little bit more consistent with comic updates. So that's my resolution. Can't cosplay with Guts being big sad. That's what I'm saying. Because that's honestly, okay, that's the thing. With Fashion Dreamer, I would have loved to be able to, make my OCs. And I was thinking about it, I'm like, I couldn't make Gons, one of my magical girls. I don't think I could, I can't make Sunny, another one of my magical girls. Half of the Ravens can't do. And it's just like, what's the point? I think, honestly, the first thing was, I was like, I could make all the characters in Project Sekai. And you can't. I'm like, it's like, I can't even make fucking Honami. And she's one of the most basic characters. And so, that was kind of the big thing. It's like, if this is all this game has, why do I not have more available when it comes to character creation? If that's literally the whole game. Damn, got 10 minutes in watching stream for UK. Welcome from the UK. What time is it for you? It must be like... I feel like the UK it's always like 2 a.m. I've got a bunch of clocks on my phone. London. So I'm gonna guess it's in the evening. It's pretty late. It's like 9:30ish in the UK. So... Ew. You're watching me before bed? That's a mistake. Gonna have weird ass dreams. I've been watching Scott Pilgrim content on Netflix. Have you seen the movie New Theories Thoughts? I haven't seen a damn thing. I think I've watched one review for Scott Pilgrim. Obviously I've seen it to a degree. I've looked at some of the art from the original comic. I have seen screenshots of the new thing. Fans seem very excited about it, and I know that the original creator is is actively involved. He's a major player in its production and where the story and characters go. So I'm sure it's great. It does seem to have captured his art style flawlessly. It looks like Scott Pilgrim, so at least there's that. And there's a part of me that hopes that this can kind of lead into kind of an awakening for American audiences, that sometimes cartoons can be for adults, but not be shitty, raunchy humor, like crappy versions of South Park, because that does seem to be where it is. It's either cartoons are for children, or cartoons are to be weirdly explicit, overly violent, and for adults. And I'm hoping Scott Pilgrim could be a way for the West to figure out, oh, it could just be a good story made for an older audience without being too much in every way. Speaking of magical girls, would you consider Tanya von Daschen a magical girl? She does do magic, yes? I think on a technicality, yes. You assume I sleep? You're right. How foolish of me, one taker. Yeah, Tanya the Evil, yeah? That's who you're talking about? I think on a technicality, you could call her a magical girl. But I also... Tanya the Evil. I also think that magical girl as an archetype is a wandering answer. I think you can argue that a lot of things are magical girls, and I think another similarly valid person could argue that none of those things are magical girls. There are people who struggle to consider Madoka Magica a magical girl show because it is a dissection of the genre. Which is also, it's foolish because Sailor Moon is just as violent. Like, basically every one of Sailor Moon's friends has died previously. The thing is, Sailor Moon is just happy. They got better. Yeah, I think you could argue yes for Tanya. Personally, I would not call her one, but yeah, I could see how someone would be like, that's a magical girl show. Or at least that's a magical girl. I wouldn't call it a magical girl show, but Tanya being a magical girl in a not magical girl show, in a war anime, basically is how I'm going to describe it. One, an excellent concept for a show. Two, I could see that. The answer is it's complicated. I mean, they brought the actors from the movie to voice the characters in the new series. I was surprised to see Chris Evans in the movie, so to hear him in the anime was interesting. That's so cool. I didn't know they did that. That's really neato. Chris Evans is swell. I love that guy. He is the only reason why, if someone asks me who's my favorite superhero, I say Captain America. So it'll be interesting. It'd be interesting to hear how how they all do. Because I do know that sometimes screen actors can really struggle with voice acting because it's a completely different, like, move set, for lack of any better word. And sometimes they take to it quite easily, and other times they really struggle with it. So it'd be fascinating to hear how they all do. For example, this is just a similar kind of example. It's not quite the same. But David Bowie in Labyrinth, stunning, flawless. I love Labyrinth, and I love David Bowie. But he really had a hard time playing against the puppets. Yeah, in scenes where it's like him talking to Hoggle, David Bowie had the tendency to look off screen towards the actor voicing Hoggle rather than looking at the puppet. And so that's a different example, but it's a similar kind of concept where some people just struggle with these things without being able to do what they are trained to do and engage with other people on screen. However, it's not out of the question, because, like, for example, I haven't seen it yet, but what little I've seen from The Boy and the Heron, with David, what's his name? Patrick Robertson? You would probably know him best as Edward from Twilight. He plays the Heron, and it sounds great. I really want to see that movie. And he seems to be doing an excellent job. I hope he goes into voice acting more. Similar with, what's his name? The guy who plays Luke Skywalker. Boy fucking howdy, he's got a name. But classically, everyone knows that he played the Joker in the animated Batman. Mark Hamill. And he did a great job as well. So obviously, it's not like they can't do well. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to see how well they do. Have not read Claymore. You talking about guts in your video made me remember it. Nope, not. I'm gonna Google Claymore. And manga? Is it a manga? Manga. Claymore. Images. I think I have seen one thing from Claymore. It's like this guy. This one guy? Girl? No, I haven't read this. Not familiar with it. Voice acting is closer to stage acting, from my understanding. I would disagree, because on stage, you have to be big. You have to be seen and heard from the back. I minored in theater, so I know what I'm talking about. Stage acting, I'm sure that they are closer to screen acting because screen actors are used to being able to be small, to have small changes in their face animations, in like how their face moves, the small movements of like their body. That's what screen actors get as their kind of boom. Stage actors are used to being very loud and projecting and moving a lot. That's the biggest thing that you will see stage actors miss when voice acting for something. Is in order to be voice acting, you need to be facing forward. You have to be facing the mic consistently. You can't look away. You can't start talking over there, because that ruins the audio. That ruins the take. You can't be moving around too much, because if you jostle something, that ruins the take. You can't, and that seems to be the biggest thing that stage actors struggle with, is they're used to moving, which even just a little bit can fuck up the audio. But that being said, I'm sure that there are other things that screen actors struggle with, specifically because they can get to be small. They're not used to knowing how loud you need to be into the microphone. You can't be whispering like this is fucking... That's gotta be the one kind of critique, but it's also fascinating with Castlevania Original with Trevor. They are fucking whispering all the time in that show. And it makes them sound very real, but it also makes it like, speak the fuck up? Excuse me? Why are you whispering all the time? So, it's rough. It's rough, but fascinating. Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon might be merging soon. That is fascinating. I did hear about that. It could result in some interesting crossovers. Unfortunately, what it most likely will result in is layoffs, unfortunately. I don't think it's good for everything under the sun to be owned by a small handful of companies. But it is what it is. J.K. Simmons does do really well in the voice actor booth. He played Tenzin in Tales of Korra. In Avatar. Korra. So, yeah, I love J.K. Simmons. He's also in that one superhero show. Superhero guy with the look at what they have to do to replicate a fraction of our power. You all know. Oh, is he Cave Johnson in Portal 2? Yo. J.K. Simmons is so cool. He was also in Kung Fu Panda, and he was really good in that. The anime didn't, the manga did get a good ending for Claymore. Well, that's nice. Oh my gosh. Who's that? Welcome. Some, okay. I'll call you Some. That's Doug. He's also the plant over here. That's just what he looks like as a human. He's just a friend. He's just a fella and a guy. You want to see the rest of his outfit? Wow. So fancy. Look at those shoes. Hot damn. Yeah, that's Doug. If you donate at least $5, you make Doug talk. He's the one that reads out the donations. Isn't that neato? But yeah, welcome. He looks like Griffith. Thank you. Man, I'll take that. Never had anyone say that anything resembled anything from Berserk before, and that's a compliment in my eyes. Invincible is what that cartoon is called. Thank you. Two major studios merging means less new shows in the long run? Maybe? I don't know. I hope it works out positively, but unfortunately I just don't think it will. I definitely know that it will probably mean layoffs, but it is what it is. I don't get to choose it. I don't have any power over this. I can only hope that, I don't know, they unionize. What? Multi-billion-dollar monopolies are bad? I know, right? Griffith? I don't know. I find it tough to husbandoify Griffith, because he's kind of the most evil character in anything. And also, I mean, Guts is right there. Why would you choose Griffith? But thank you. I hope you enjoy stream for however long it lasts. Chat is trying to keep me engaged. The more engaged I stay, the more they succeed in staving off me ending the stream. Wait, you don't have any power over this? Have I been lied to again? It's only sometimes a lie. Oh, so there's a husbando you admit you can't fix? There's plenty who I couldn't fix. They're just usually not husbandos. Griffith, can't fix him. Not a husbando. There you go. Easy peasy. Guts Griffith, Poke los nos Poke no los dos. Yeah, but Griffith sucks. He's a bad guy. That's his problem. And listen, I usually don't mind villains, but Griffith is just a real shit stain. If they could fix him in canon, then sure. But as it is, there's plenty of pretty guys I can choose instead. Literally, when I opened Twitch, I got an ad for a movie. Yeah, it happens. I get a lot of ads for, on YouTube especially. They waste so much money, advertising Genshin Impact to me, and I'm like, I don't care, fam. I'm not spending any money on the game. And 2, Project Sakai, and I'm like, guys, you're wasting your time. I've got it. I spend money on this already. You don't need. The more you distract Twiins with shiny objects, the longer chat goes. How would you fix him? See, Guts would have to. I don't think I have the resources, like the writing chops, to quote-unquote fix someone as villainous as Griffith, and I don't know if Griffith deserves to be redeemed or fixed at this point. It depends on how the story goes, though. You know, we could get to spend time with him and learn, you know, stuff about Griffith that could lead to redemption or fixing. As it is, if I had the keys to Berserk, I would end it tragically. I would end it with Guts killing Griffith, but in order to do so, basically taking his place. But I'm not behind the wheel. So I don't know. It could happen, but I have no idea. I have no idea what Mira has had in store. Don't know what the plot has in store. So how would you fix Griffith? Basically by spending another 2 decades with him instead of with Guts. So rough stuff, if I do say so. And even then, at the end of it, it's like, oh cool, okay, so we spend 20 years spending time with Griffith, and is that still enough? Just don't know. Getting ads for AI and stuff? Ew, gross, stupid, dumb, stinky, poopy. Boring. AI is it's just so boring. And honestly, I think people are getting over it. Obviously you've got, losers on Twitter. But I think people are kind of like NFTs. I think it's waning down on the kind of overall zeitgeist enthusiasm level. Still get Audible ads. Nearly 300 bucks in. I guess if the algorithm figures out you like something and it's like, just spend the ad revenue on them, it's like, this could be worse. At least it's something I like. Is it just me, or has YouTube like tripled the amount of ads lately? It does seem to be a thing that they're doing. Personally, allegedly, AdBlock still works That's all I'm gonna say about that. They declared war on ad blockers, so more ads for those blocked. I've been doing alright. That's all I'll say about that. I don't, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx nothing. TikTok does this but with birds. Fascinating. I don't get birds. There are plenty of bird people, and I respect them. But personally, I just don't get them. Like, I think they're fine, but it feels like bird people are, like, really into birds. And I'm like, yeah, they're, cute little guys. Any more streams for the rest of the year? Probably not. Because if I was gonna do one, it would have been on the day that the company party is on. So maybe one near New Year's Eve / New Year's. It's the same day, really. But I'm taking next week off, so that's kind of it for the year. So don't worry, you don't have to deal with me anymore. Oh, ad money is forbidden Twiins topic. Allegedly, Adblock is leaving in 2025. We'll see what happens, I guess. Hopefully not. But yeah, no stream. Let me look at my calendar. Let's see what we're looking at here. Calendar. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. So it's next week I'm off, and then... No. No, you won't see me until next year. Ain't that fun? So, you gotta behave while I'm gone. Gotta save up all your money so then I can come back and be like, hello guys, I'm back. And then you all donate like $400 each. That's the rule, you've gotta do that. I'm joking. Damn, a whole year away. I know, it's rough. So I have to take a vacation to catch stream. Then you're off for most of it. Sorry, one taker. EDs, but you know what, this is alright though, because it gives me time to, 1, work on my art and projects and stuff, and 2, catch up on VODs. I suck at doing that. Cause hot damn. So, but yeah, I'll be able to actually catch up on VODs and upload all those to the VOD channel. Actually. Twiins returns. Empty your pockets. But speaking about being productive and such, I can actually do some work on some art, so I think I'm gonna do that. We're gonna wrap it here, so I can, cause I am dedicated. I want to get this comic done, well, the first 2 chapters, done before Christmas. And I don't have a ton of time, so I basically got today and tomorrow to do my absolute damnedest, and I think I can do it. I've got, like 20 pages to color? So that's so doable. That's super doable. The hard part is done. The hard part is line art. We believe in you. Thank you. Hope you spending time with those people. What they call them. Family, I think. Up where they walk. Up where they run. Up where they spend all day in the sun. Yeah. Thanks for the stream. It was fun. Have good holidays. What about your final art advice for the year? What do you want art advice about? Because I tend to jump to look up references for foreshortening, but what would you like advice on? I am willing to give advice, but please just request a topic about it. You can do it, Twiins. Thank you. I'd like to believe in myself too. It was fun hanging out for a bit. Yeah. It was welcome. Some. I don't know if you're usually a lurker or if this is just your first time stopping by. Hopefully you come on by again. Assuming you don't forget about me in a year. Heavens. Oh. Did you all leave? What did you want art advice about? Simple standing poses to show an outfit. My advice for that is that you're gonna have to accept that your options are quite limited. You're gonna see a lot of, kind of like Doug back there, you're gonna see a lot of the same ways to stand. Because there's only so many different ways to stand and also be able to show off the outfit. I suggest maybe getting into the habit of doing 2 images, one to show off the outfit, so just kind of them standing, you know, like me, you know, like, God, I've got so many fucking windows, you know. You know, you draw one image where it's like me, just standing in an A pose, and then get into the habit of drawing yourself a second image where, they're doing something more exciting. Because, yeah, there's only, like, you know, just, you can't cross their arms because that covers their torso, and but you can't put their hands behind their back because that hides their arms. So, you're very limited, so you just kind of gotta deal with the fact that if you want to show off the outfit, you can't do a whole lot. Have any about comics? I struggle with composition. Fascinating. So, my recommendation for comics composition is keep in mind how the eye will flow across the page. I think people get ambitious on trying to make interesting panel layouts. Hello Excalibur, I'm literally wrapping up stream, but I've been asked a very interesting question, so we're going to explore it. Let me bring up a comic so we can look at an example. Comic. This is gonna delay the end of stream by 20 minutes. I said goodbye on everything. you fuckos. Okay. Let's grab, what's a good comic to use as an example here? Yeah, we'll go with this one. This is a fun one. Okay. Here we got a comic panel from Grim Magic. And the most important thing is to keep track of how your eye flows naturally across the page. So, for example, I need a pointer. Let me grab Doug. Okay. So, for example, we start up here with where Doug's head is. We start up here, flow naturally, and we're just reading left to right. Not, you know, nothing special. We don't need to try to be too dramatic with what we do. Personally, is it an important thing? You need a bigger panel. You know, something small and inconsequential, like, you know, just Raven, you know, posing as she says her thing. Not that important. Versus this flock member doing her big gesture. Or, you know, Gon's reacting. Those require bigger panels. The final panel gets, you know, lots of screens time, effectively, because it is the end. It's the end that we are concluding, you know, and even within a panel, you still read left to right. You know, we finish with, you know, the punchline where Mouse reveals that they're all existing at different times and different years. And then we see all this blank empty sky and Brooder. If you put Brooder over on this side, where Doug is right now, that feels like more should happen. But since we casually end with Brooder and the end, it gives the panel a sense of finality. So that's the big thing, is recognizing that you just gotta go from left to right. You don't need to experiment too hard. And also, keep in mind where your speech bubbles go. Look at this panel with Falada up here. Most of the panel is speech bubble. It's because she has a lot to say. She is setting up the important part that they don't exist at the same time. Same with Raven. Raven is crunched up into the corner. Most of her panel is dedicated to words because she is, you know, kind of leading into that punchline where the other girls react to them not existing all at the same time. versus this one where we get more of Falada on screen because she's making a cute little face, but her speech bubble doesn't need to be that big. So plan around where your speech bubbles are, because they matter. They are half of the art. You can't, fill up your page too much without figuring out where the words go. So that is my advice to figuring out your composition. Just keep track of left to right, how much space needs to go towards words versus art, and don't feel like you need to go too hard with experimenting with something else, because that's something I do see quite often. I do see people sitting there thinking that they need to, oh, well, this is boring. I keep having the same kind of composition over and over. And that's fine. I'd much rather have a boring, consistent composition than an inefficient use of a composition. So that is my tip. Maybe next year I'll actually do like a comic art stream. I'll like draw up a comic page and show you guys how I do comics, so you guys can kind of see, we can talk about comic composition and production a little bit more in depth. That could be fun. So yeah, hey twins, I hope you have a great vacation. Also, you got me sick. Haha. Also, thanks to your Just Do It tip, I'm finally able to get out of my artist block and continue my comic. Yay! I'm happy for you. Sometimes you just gotta do it. Sometimes you gotta hang out and listen to a song. That's my biggest thing. If I have art block, usually music is the thing that pulls me out of it. Thank you! It's some! Welcome. I appreciate it. Also, got a hate present planned up for Christmas. A hate present? No. No, I do not. Just so I don't forget. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You can follow me on Twitter too, so I always say when I'm gonna go live. So, wink wonk, you can do that. Yeah, some do have pupils and some don't. Actually, technically, Gons is the only one with pupils. Fun fact. Of all the magical girls I've got, Gons is the only one I designed with pupils. It was just because that's just how I drew her. And I thought it was funny, the idea. So she's like a princess. She's the only princess of the team, like the whole comic. And I thought it was funny, the idea that she gets pupils because she was the only one who could afford them. That's not the reason. She just looked nice that way. But yeah. Is this Twitter like X? Ugh. If I see people unironically call it X, I'm like, stop. Just don't. Okay, yeah, you distracted me long enough. We're very nearly at the 2-hour mark. I think that's good. I got some time before dinner. I can work on my comics. And I'll see you on the flip side. That's a great... I liked that request, though. Yeah, I think we ought to do a comic stream together. That sounds fun and neat. But yeah, that's it. I'm ending the stream. You can't stop me. Adios. Drink your water, eat your vegetables, all that jazz. And, I'll see you next year. Bye-bye.